Yo, what up everybody? It's your boy Fitzmonk TV here, aka GLorn33. I'm back with an interesting video for you guys today. We're talking more Avengers Endgame. And basically, I just want to let you guys know before we get into the video, this will contain spoilers for Avengers Endgame. Alright, if you guys haven't seen the movie yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go see it because it's definitely going to be the best movie of the year. But basically, in this movie, the screenwriters for the movie, which were Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, they did an interview with the New York Times, and basically in that interview they answered a bunch of questions about the movie. Alright, why they decided to make the movie 3 hours, why they decided to do the snap, etc., etc. They go into detail about almost everything all your questions about the movie in a way. And it's a very interesting article. I might do more video just on this interview alone, but the part I want to focus on is, and this is your last spoiler warning because we're going to talk about spoilers now. Basically, we're going to be talking about why the decisions for Black Widow and Iron Man dying came about. Also, we're going to talk about Captain America retiring. Alright, this is a very interesting article. It talks about the decisions they made about going back in time, picking what characters go where, etc., etc. And they also talk about the final battle, but we're going to be focusing on the deaths. And let me find, here it is, the journey's end. And I did a video earlier today. If you guys haven't checked it out, I did a video. It was kind of a mini rant in a way, because one of the only things I don't like about Endgame is the treatment of Black Widow. I feel like she got the short end of the stick, especially her being one of the original 6 Avengers. We know that she is getting her solo movie coming up, but still, ending her story the way they did, it's kind of disappointing in a way, because I feel like there's still a lot more they could do with Black Widow, and she still hasn't got that defining moment yet in the MCU. I believe Endgame was going to be her defining moment, but I'm disappointed the way she was done. But they asked right here, we're gonna start with Black Widow, then we go to Iron Man, and then we'll go to Captain America. But they asked the screenwriters, why does Natasha Romanoff have to die? And they say right here, her journey in our minds had come to an end if she could get the Avengers back. That's basically her story in the movie. Alright, after the snap, we see her fall into this pit of low depression. For 5 years, she's like the only one still at the Avengers compound. All the other Avengers are trying to, move on, deal with it in their own way, but she's the only one still at the compound. And you can tell, it says right here, she comes from such an abusive, terrible mind control background. So when she gets to Vormir, she has the chance to get her family back, which she says in the movie, the Avengers are her family. She says in the movie, I used to have nothing until I got this family. And she wants to do whatever it takes to bring that family back, even if it means sacrificing her life. That's all that matters to her at the end of the day. And he says the toughest thing for us was we were always worried that the people weren't going to have time to be sad enough. The stinks are still out there and they haven't solved the problem, but we lost a big character, a female character. How do we honor it? We have this male lens, and it's a lot of guys being sad that a woman died. And they also talk about how Tony gets a funeral and Natasha doesn't, because the reason why, and I was asking, Natasha's death, you see the Avengers, they mourn about it for a couple minutes, and then they move straight into Hulk using the gauntlet to bring everyone back. And I wish they would have gave more time to her death, since she is one of the OG Avengers, since she means so much to the team. But since Avengers Endgame is 3 hours long and they have to continue pushing the pace because there's so many story points they have to get to, they only give her a couple minutes. But when Iron Man dies, which we'll get to in just a sec, they gave a good 5-6 minutes. They give him a whole funeral and everything. They devote a lot of time, especially since he is the founder of the MCU in a way. But the reason why Natasha doesn't get a funeral is basically she's been a cipher this whole time. She's not as big a public figure as Tony, even though she is one of the original Avengers. It wasn't necessarily honest to the character to give her a funeral. So in a way, it was like there was really not a big point of giving her a funeral, which I disagree with. I would have loved for, the original Avengers to do some kind of a memorial for her or something, but it's their decision. And basically, it says right here, there's the everlasting exchange. Because remember, Thor does ask, why are we sitting here mourning around? We can just bring her back with the Infinity Stones, right? That's the reason why we collected them. It's right there. It says here, here's the everlasting exchange. You bring her back, you lose the stone. So to get the Soul Stone, you have to trade a life. So the only way that I guess you can get her back is giving up the stone. So, but that kind of brings in confusion for me, because Captain America, at the end of the movie, he goes back in time and puts the stones in their right places. He returns the Soul Stone to Vormir off screen. So wouldn't that bring Black Widow back? Why would Black Widow stay dead if the stone has already been returned? That's a plot hole I don't understand. So it's like you give the stone back, but you don't get Natasha back, which sucks so much. But moving back down, they also talk about they did write situations where it was Hawkeye that sacrificed himself, but they always decided at the end of the day decided it would be more fitting for the story that Black Widow gives herself up, because for the fact, Hawkeye, this is for his family, and Black Widow not only wants to bring back Hawkeye's family, but all the Avengers, all the billions of lives that were lost thanks to Thanos. So they felt like it would be more emotional to have Black Widow be the one to give herself up, and it would be a proper end to her story. Alright, and I disagree with that. I wish they hadn't killed Black Widow. In my opinion, I said this in my other video, I would have wrote in it as she survives. She leads, the female heroes in the final battle against Thanos' army. And then what happens is after, Iron Man dies and everybody else, is gone, all the original Avengers move on. What they do is, since the Avengers mean so much to her, she stays with the Avengers and becomes the leader of the Avengers in the future. That's what I would have done for her. There's still a chance they could do this, but it looks like right now they're just gonna keep her dead, sadly, and I hate that. But moving on, let's get to Iron Man. Now we figure out why they decided to kill Tony Stark. Well, they started by saying everyone knew this was going to be the end of Tony Stark. So since the beginning, since they planned Infinity War and Endgame, they planted the seeds of Infinity War with, Doctor Strange giving up the Time Stone to keep Tony Stark alive, because they knew Tony Stark would have to be the reason why, one of the main reasons why the Avengers would win against Thanos. Because the way they look at it is, Endgame is the end of this whole chapter for Marvel. It's the end of the first phase of the MCU, the Infinity Saga, all that. And since Iron Man was the one to start it off, it would have to end with Iron Man ending it. That's the only way it could go. That's the reason why they decided to kill Tony Stark. They talked about, the whole thing about Tony getting his retirement and everything. It says right here, were there any other outcomes you considered for Tony? No. Because the reason why they decided to kill him, because he had already gotten his happy ending in a way. Alright, his death is not a tragedy, but his death is looked upon more as a heroic hero that has finished his life. That's the way they looked at it. Tony, during those 5 years between, the snap and Endgame, basically Tony got married to Pepper. He had his daughter. He got to, partially raise her for the first 4 years of her life. That's Tony's happy ending in a way. And now they decided it would be fitting for the man that started it all, for the man that ended by sacrificing himself to save the entire universe. So it said right here, they were never planning on keeping Tony alive at the end of Endgame. This was the way it was always going to end for the character, which makes sense. As sad as it was for me, especially with Iron Man being my favorite hero, it made sense, and it was a perfect ending for the character. Right? Will Tony, live on, as maybe Spider-Man's AI, or maybe he'll come back through timeline in a future film? Who knows? But for right now, this was the way they decided to end it for Iron Man, and I'm fine with it. Lastly, and this one will surprise people, maybe, Captain America. the plan always was for Captain America to stay alive. All right. For so many years, people predicted, oh, Captain America's gonna die in Civil War, or he'll die in Infinity War, or he'll die in Endgame. Though it says right here, the writers never, ever thought about killing Captain America, because they always thought the end would be Captain America finally getting that dance with Peggy. Finally getting that dance with Peggy that they set up all the way from the first Captain America movie. And no matter how you think about it, it's a good end for the character. Yes, it's sad, it makes me a little jealous because I hate how Iron Man dies and, Captain America, he gets to, live a full life and retire. But still, it made sense because we always thought since the beginning, since the first Captain America movie, hopefully one day Steve will get that dance. And he does get that dance. He gets his happy ending, even though it kind of messes up. It makes another timeline because Captain America chooses to stay back and live his life. That creates a whole different timeline. But still, it was a proper end to the character. And, if they want, they can bring him back one day if Chris Evans chooses to play Captain America again. But, yeah, there you have it. That's the reasons why, the screenwriters decided, kill Black Widow, kill Iron Man, and, let Captain America retire. And it's sad because this is the end. All right, yes, Thor will be in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 most likely. No idea what's going to happen to Hulk. Hawkeye's getting his own TV show. It's sad, but hey, it's a fitting end for the OG Avengers. It passes down the mantle to the new Avengers like Doctor Strange, Black Panther, and Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, etc. for them to be the Avengers of the future. But still, it's really sad to see this era come to an end. But other than that, that's about all I got for you guys today. Let me know in the comment section. Now that you guys know why they decided to kill Black Widow, why they decided to kill Iron Man, and why they decided to, retire Captain America in the way they did. Do you guys like the decisions? Do you guys like the explanations behind it? What other endings would you have wanted for these characters? Alright, I'll make sure that we make more videos on this and everything else Endgame related as the week goes on. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for everything. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day, guys. Peace.